You are standing outside in the cold November air, giving your boyfriend's parents a hug after a perfect Thanksgiving dinner. Suddenly, his mom pulls you in close and whispers in your ear, "You know, he talks about you all the time. He is madly in love with you." You look over at the guy who just 2 months ago was nothing more than a handsome stranger at your waitress job, and you realize taking that one terrifying leap of faith completely changed your life. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into the r/relationship_advice subreddit with a beautifully sweet post from a throwaway account. But before we get started, I want you to picture this. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get right into the post. So, I am a 24-year-old female, and I work part-time as a waitress. It is hard work, but I am just trying my best to pay off my heavy student loans. Usually, the days just blur together. But lately, there is one big reason I actually look forward to my shifts. I have a huge crush on a guy who comes in for breakfast or lunch a couple of times a week. He always seems to show up on the exact days I am working. He is incredibly handsome and super sweet. I'm pretty sure he is single, though I can't be 100% positive about it. If I had to guess his age, I would say he is somewhere between 25 and 27. I've gotten to know him a little bit over time. We sometimes chat when the restaurant isn't too busy. He told me he moved to this city just a few months ago. Honestly, I would love to ask him out, but I have absolutely no idea how to do it. Plus, I get so nervous around him. My hands start sweating just thinking about it. My manager actually knows all about this crush. She is great. Whenever he comes in, she always makes sure I am the one who serves his table. There are a few things that make me wonder if he likes me back. First of all, his bill is usually only between $8 and $9, but every single time, he pays with a $20 bill and tells me to keep the change. That is a huge tip for a cheap breakfast. Do you think that might be a sign he likes me? My manager said she has seen him drive a really expensive sports car a few times, so she warned me that the large tip might not actually mean anything romantic. He might just have a lot of money to spare. But at the same time, she told me that she catches him looking at me quite a bit while I am working. She also pointed out that he never comes in on my days off. To give you an idea of how sweet he is, let me tell you what happened the other day. One morning I was serving a really grumpy old man. This guy was giving me a ton of crap for absolutely no reason. I kept my cool and smiled, but it was really hard. When I finally walked away from the old man's table, I looked back and saw my crush talking to him. I have no idea what he said, but when I went back to the old man a few minutes later, he was suddenly very nice to me. Obviously, my crush stuck up for me. It was so sweet. Still, since I am a naturally shy person, what is the best way to ask him out without completely embarrassing myself? I'm so scared of getting rejected and making my work life awkward. I just don't know what to do. OP asked Reddit for advice, and the community gave her a great idea. Show up on her day off. Here is her update. I have good news. Last week I mentioned that I normally work Friday mornings and he always comes in for breakfast at the exact same time. Well, I actually had this past Friday off. I decided to take the advice I got here and show up for breakfast at the same time as him. It worked out perfectly. I went to the diner and sat down in the area where he usually sits. Then, I just waited. About 10 minutes later, he walked right through the door. He saw me sitting there ordering breakfast and came straight up to me. He looked a little puzzled because I wasn't wearing my work uniform. He asked if I had the day off, and I smiled and said, "Yes." He immediately replied, "That sucks. You're my favorite waitress." I had actually spent extra time doing my hair and putting on some cute clothes that morning. He noticed right away. He complimented me and said I looked really pretty. I could feel my face getting so hot. I probably turned 10 shades of red. The next thing I know, he asked if he could sit at my table with me. I was so nervous. Guys never usually give me butterflies, but he gives them to me all the time. I tried my best to act totally normal and not be a dork. Usually I'm very shy around him, but without my uniform on, it felt different. He made me feel so comfortable, and he was super easy to talk to. We sat and talked for a long time before our food even came. It was so much fun. The funniest part was that my manager was the one waiting on us. She never waits tables, but she has been encouraging me to make a move for weeks. She was so happy for me. I felt like he was giving me signs the entire time we were talking, which made me feel a lot more confident. So, I finally worked up the courage. I took a deep breath and asked if he would like to hang out sometime outside of the diner. He smiled and agreed right away. We swapped phone numbers, and he has been texting and flirting with me a few times a day ever since. Through texting, I found out we both enjoy hiking, so I suggested we go check out an old lighthouse not too far from where we live here in northern Michigan. We are planning to go this weekend. Then, last night, he texted me about a fall festival coming up in a couple of weeks. He wanted to know if I would go with him. I playfully texted back, "Are you asking me out on a date?" He replied, "Yes, will you please go with me?" I'm so excited. I can't believe how easy this whole thing actually was. Thank you, Reddit, for giving me the push I needed. After going on their dates, OP returned 2 months later to give the community one last heartwarming update. It has been a couple of months since my last post, so I think you all deserve a happy update. First of all, thank you again, Reddit. I was just a shy girl with a crush on a handsome stranger. To think that he is now my boyfriend is just nuts. I can't even describe how happy I am. 2 months ago, I mentioned we were going on a hiking date to an old lighthouse. I was so afraid it was going to rain, but it turned out to be the perfect day. We packed a little picnic and spent the whole afternoon hiking. I thought it was so romantic. We had a great time getting to know each other. Over the next couple of weeks, we continued to see each other and go on fun dates. I wanted to take things to the next level so badly, but I wanted to make sure he felt the same way first. After a couple of weeks of dating, we were hanging out at his place one night. We were just cuddling and watching a movie. That is when he looked at me and finally asked if we could be exclusive. It was the best night ever. So, we have been in an exclusive relationship for a couple of months now. I feel like I've known him forever. We just click perfectly. He has a huge family and they hosted Thanksgiving last weekend. He begged me to come. I'm a shy person, so I was really nervous to meet everyone, but they made me feel so welcome. His mother is a total sweetheart and his dad is hilarious. When we were finally leaving, I gave his parents hugs goodbye. His mom pulled me close and whispered, "You know, he talks about you all the time. He's like madly in love with you." My boyfriend heard her and was so embarrassed. I have never seen him turn so red. I also invited him to my family's Thanksgiving. My family loved him, which was a massive relief. My dad hasn't liked any of my past boyfriends, but he immediately liked this one. They even hung out in my dad's shop talking about cars, and of course my mom and aunts thought he was a total hunk, which was super awkward but really funny. Anyway, I just figured I'd let you all know that we are finally a couple. Thanks for all your help when I was too scared to ask him out. You guys really encouraged me. Let's take a look at what the community had to say about this beautiful ending. One user remembered their own similar story and wrote, "I still remember the butterflies the day I finally asked my pretty waitress for her phone number. She rolled her eyes, laughed, and said, 'Finally.' I still have the blank ticket she wrote it on, and a million happy memories that followed. Best of luck, OP. Your story warms my heart. Enjoy your dates." OP thought this was incredibly sweet and thanked them. Another user brought up the old man from the diner. "Remember that time he intimidated the old man who was mean to you? I knew then that it was true love. You should ask him what he actually told the guy. I'm curious." OP replied to this, giving us the inside scoop. "I did ask him. Apparently he told the guy he did not appreciate the way he was talking to me and said if he kept being rude, he was going to help him to his car. Blush. Lol. OL." And finally, one commenter spoke for all of us. "So, you're inviting all of our/relationships to the wedding, right? This whole thing is so cute. It's like every girl's dream, super romantic and perfect." OP playfully agreed, saying, "Of course. He's a good guy. I still act like a giddy schoolgirl whenever I'm about to see him." As we wrap up this post, I just have to say how refreshing it is to read something so pure and successful. It is so easy to let fear control our actions, especially when it comes to putting our hearts on the line. OP was terrified of rejection, scared of ruining her peaceful work environment, and worried she might embarrass herself. But because she took that one small step, simply sitting down for breakfast without her uniform, everything changed. She went from pouring his coffee to holding his hand at Thanksgiving dinner. It just goes to show that sometimes the biggest rewards come from the smallest acts of bravery. If you have a crush on someone, maybe this is your sign to take a deep breath and just say, hello. You never know where it might lead. Thank you all so much for watching. Have you ever taken a chance on a crush like this? Let me know down in the comments.